Yo, yo, yo. Check, mic check. 1 2 1 2. I want to get on here today and talk to you guys today about this. This space. This space happens to be my apartment living room and how I basically turned this into my home studio and ended up saving myself thousands of dollars. I used to rent out studios on Peerspace for anywhere from say 50 to up to I don't know, maybe like 125 an hour. I never really booked the 125 an hours, but maybe on average you would say I was probably spending about $75 an hour. And yeah, so one day I just was like, yo, like I'm spending all this money every time I do a shoot. How can I do this at home? I went on YouTube, went down the rabbit hole, and eventually decided that I would just get rid of my couch, get rid of all my furniture, and put a studio inside my living room. So here we are. You see above me, it's paper backdrop, and this bar is basically a curtain rod that I got from IKEA. It's about $8, and I think the hooks might have been like $1.50 a piece. So that's a great starting point. So this is the light I started out with. This modifier is for my constant light, but you get a modifier similar to this. This is the Godox, I think MS300. Right now it's on Amazon, I believe, for about 109. When I purchased it, it might have been on sale for like 89 bucks, but I think I bought the second one for like 100 bucks, 109, whatever. $100 is probably about the average price that you're going to see on this thing. And 109 for a strobe light. You don't have to get a strobe light, but I think that's pretty fair. You can get a constant light or whatever works for you. You know, even if you don't want to start off with the light at all and you just want to, and you have a window that's near and you want to use natural lighting, that's perfect as well. Whatever works for you, whatever lighting source works for you, this is the light that I use, but you don't have to use this light. I would say I didn't really calculate this when I thought about it, but you definitely need a light stand. I have another video on that. I would definitely suggest purchasing a light stand that's durable because what's going to happen is that if you go cheap or if you cheat the system, not cheat the system, but if you go cheap or value, whatever you want to call it, you're going to end up purchasing it again, and you're just going to end up wasting your money. When I started out, I used this. Let me back up so you can get it in full view. This is the Amazon Basics. It's about $15. I don't know. I haven't looked. I'll add it on the video. These are cool. They'll get you started. They're not really heavyweight, so if you end up using these outside, I would definitely suggest sandbags. Even inside with a light or weight at the top of this thing, I definitely just suggest sandbags. Sandbags is I just suggest that anytime you're putting something on a tripod, just to keep your equipment safe and keep your clients safe, keep you safe, just safety overall. The last thing that I would suggest to get started with the home studio would be some type of backdrop. I literally got this at the fabric store. You can get paper backdrops. You can literally use a sheet that you get from Walmart. Whatever works. Because what I tend to notice is that as you're taking photos, you literally, it doesn't look the way that it looks in person. Like right now, hey, this looks the way that it is in person. Once you have a photo, which I'll show you, or let me scoot over. Once you have a photo, it'll look totally different. Um, the viewer would not be able to tell the difference that, hey, this guy took this in his apartment, living room, or wherever. Also, one thing I would say is don't worry about the size. Like now with AI, if you can't get your subject to fit within this, I would say get them, as close to this as possible, and then use AI to add in the rest to fill the rest or to make it seamless. I can put a before and after picture of how I do that. Not how I do that, but what it looks like when I do that. Just because, you might be space restricted. So, three tips that I would say when inviting models into your home. The first tip is going to be always let them know that, hey, this is a home studio. Give them the option. You don't want to invite someone to your home, they show up and realize that, hey, this address is a home studio. Nine times out of 10, everybody's going to be cool about it, but you just don't want to create that awkward situation. So I'm always super upfront about it. I let models know, like, hey, I am shooting outside of my apartment, just so that you can be aware of what's going on, especially in today's climate. Like, you just want people to, you want to communicate and give people all of the information and not leave it up to them to figure it out whenever they show up. So the second tip I would say is be clean. If you have a downstairs restroom or restroom, make sure your restroom is clean. Like, make sure your apartment is swept and mopped and smells good and your dishes are washed and have the appearance of this is my studio. Like, don't just say, like, don't have a non separation of, oh, this is my house and this is just how I live. Like, no, like, think about, like, even some people might be allergic to pets, so keep that in mind whenever you do think about inviting people into your home. Just definitely keep it clean and definitely let people know, like, oh, I have pets, because some people might have allergies. So you just want to let people know all of these things ahead of time. The third thing I would say when inviting people into your home studio is be professional. This is your credibility. This is your reputation. And you don't want to put a stain on that by being just unprofessional, like, at the end of the day. So treat this like a business, treat the model like a client or like a coworker, and just don't be a bad person at the end of the day. Like, today's climate, like I said, is just already so much going on. Don't be a person that's adding on to what's going on. So those are going to be three tips that I would say when working within your home. Make the model aware, be clean, and be professional. And I think that if you're using those tips and you invest, you'll save yourself thousands of dollars, you'll save yourself a good reputation, and you'll have more people want to work with you. And a lot of people won't even notice that it's a home studio. So many times I have people come here after I've told them, like, hey, I'm shooting out of my house, and I guess that they're expecting, like, this small, well, it is small. It's probably only 100 square feet. And I have all the lights. I have the light stands. I have the reflectors. I have the modifiers. So I've definitely invested over time. I have the backdrops, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to save some money, you want to do things on a budget, I would suggest sh- first investing and then shooting out of a home studio. Peace.